So homework intent, just write down. So 10 applications of vector differentiation. And similarly same, write 10 applications of vector integration. Vector integrations. Okay, that is homework for you. Now our topic is vector differentiation. So maybe మీకు ఫిజిక్స్లో వచ్చినట్టుంది వెక్టర్ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ వచ్చిందా అండి? ఎంతమందికి వచ్చింది వెక్టర్ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్? వెక్టర్ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ సో జస్ట్ మీరు నోట్తో చెప్పొచ్చండి, లేదా అక్కడ కామెంట్లో అయినా టైప్ చేయండి. కాకపోతే కామెంట్లో టైప్ చేస్తే అది మళ్ళీ వెనక్కి వెళ్ళి చూసుకోవడానికి టైం పడుతుంది. నల్లా రవికుమార్, అంజలి, నల్లా అంజలి ఏంటండి? సో మీరు మాట్లాడొచ్చండి. ఓకే, ఓకే. సో టైప్ చేయకుండా డైరెక్ట్గా మాట్లాడేసేయండి. ఎవరైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే డైరెక్ట్ అడిగేసేయండి. ఓకే, సో డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ ఎవరండి వీళ్ళు? ఓకే, so vector differentiation. So in the vector differentiation, roughly we have the two types of functions. One is the vector so scalar point function, other is the vector point. So చెప్పండి సాదియా, ఏమో చెప్తున్నావు? అచ్చా, ఓ సరే, ఇంకొక సాదియా ఉన్నారేమో, సాదియా 2. ఓకే, so in the vector differentiation we will use the a operator. The operator is like this. So we call this operator is, what is the name of this operator? Del. So del operator. So we can read it as the del operator, and mathematically we will write the dou by dou x I and dou by dou y j plus dou by dou z k, and this operator is also called as nabla. Okay, so operator name is, so del operator.
సార్ కొంతమంది జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారు సార్, అలో చేయట్లేదు.
అరే దీనికి అలోకి ఏముండదండి, డైరెక్ట్గా మీకు యాక్సెస్ ఉంది. వింటున్నారా? మీరు ఎలా వచ్చారు? నేను ఏమైనా అలో చేశానా? హలో, వాళ్ళు ఆర్జుకేటీ డొమైన్ మెయిల్ ఐడితో జీమెయిల్తో రాదండి, ఓన్లీ డొమైన్ మెయిల్ ఐడితోనే వస్తుంది. ఓకే, వాళ్ళు గూగుల్ క్లాస్ కూడా అంటే డొమైన్ మెయిల్ ఐడితో మాత్రమే లాగిన్ అవ్వచ్చు, వేరే దాంతో లాగిన్ అవ్వరాదు. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, స్క్రీన్ మీద చూపిస్తుంది. సో ఇందులో ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారంటే గూగుల్ క్లాస్కి 113 మాత్రమే ఇందులో జాయిన్ అయ్యారంటే, మిగతా 140 మెంబర్స్ జాయిన్ అవ్వలేదు. ఎవరంటే నేమ్ నితిన్, సాయి చరణ్, బేగం, హేమంత్ అండ్ బిందు, శిరీష, నాగరాజు, దినేష్, పల్లవి, సభా, ప్రీతిరెడ్డి, వెన్నెల, సిద్ధార్థ్, వైష్ణవి, లావణ్య, అనిల్, వీళ్ళందరూ వింటున్నారండి. వీళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే గూగుల్ క్లాస్కి వీళ్ళకి ఆల్రెడీ ఇన్విటేషన్ వెళ్ళింది, సో వీళ్ళు జాయిన్ అవ్వలేదు. అయితే డైరెక్ట్గా మీకు లింక్ ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. ఓకేనండి? ఓకే, సో అవర్ ఆపరేటర్ ఈజ్ ద డెల్ ఆపరేటర్ అండ్ ఆల్సో కాల్డ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ద nabla operator. nabla operator. So here this is the del operator. So del operator is the dou by dou x I plus dou by dou y j, dou by dou z k, and this one is called as vector differentiation operator. Vector differential operator. Okay, and one more. So here we have the two types of functions. One is the scalar point function, another one is the vector point function. So today we'll discuss only scalar point function, not vector point function. So we have the two types of functions. The first one is the scalar point function. Scalar point function. So it is the function. It is in terms of x, y, z. No confusion. Suppose if to each point P in a region R. So this region is in terms of 3D. Okay, x axis, y axis, z axis, and this is the region to each point and the corresponding. So there is corresponds a function. So function is, I am writing the pi of p. So this function is we say that a scalar point function. Scalar point function. I think all of you know. So already you have this topic is in your physics. Okay, now today we'll discuss only scalar point function and related to the del operator. So now after operating this del operator with the scalar point function, so we know that it is the del operator, and previously we have seen the scalar point function. So scalar point function example is, so f of x comma y is equal to xy z square, or you can write f of x comma y comma z is equal 3x square minus y cube plus z square. So these are the some of the examples of the scalar point function. So now come to the, so by using the scalar point function, now we will operate this del operator. Suppose there is a f is the scalar point function, I am assuming. So if f of x comma y comma z, okay, here I am assuming this is the scalar point function. And mathematically we will write del into f. So del into f means, so we can write mathematically dou I into dou by dou x plus j into dou by dou y plus k into dou by dou z into f. After normal multiplication, it is the I into dou f by dou x and j dou f by dou y plus k dou f by dou z. So this is the del into f. So this we can write like this, or we can write it is the grade of f, but we call it is the gradient of f. Gradient of f. We call it is the gradient of f, but we will write it is the grade f, or mathematically we will write del f. So del f means here, so calculation wise it is the I into dou f by dou x plus j into dou f by dou y plus k into dou f by dou z. Okay, now this is the, we call it is the gradient of the scalar point function. So gradient of a scalar point function. scalar point function. Now we will see some examples in this gradient of scalar point function. Suppose there is a problem. So if suppose I am taking f of x y z is equal 3x square minus y cube into z square, then find gradient of f, or sometimes they will write grade f, or sometimes they will give like this, find the del f. So all are same meaning. Now del f is equal, mathematically we will write the I into dou by dou x plus j into dou by dou y plus k into dou by dou z into f. Now I into dou by dou x plus j into dou by dou y plus k into dou by, so I into dou f by dou x plus j into dou f by dou y plus k into dou f by dou z. Already we know that what is our f. It is clearly given, our f is equal 3x square minus y cube z square So after substituting this f is I into dou by dou x of 3x square minus y cube z square plus j into dou by dou y of 3x square minus y cube z square plus k into dou by dou z of 3x square minus y cube z square. Now after differentiating with respect to x, what is the result? Anybody? What is the first result? Please give me the result. First one as well as second one and third one. మీరు చెప్పొచ్చండి రిజల్ట్స్. అందరికి మైక్ పనిచేస్తుందా? హలో, I into, after differentiating with respect to x, here we will get the result is 6x square plus j into, after differentiating with respect to y, here we will get the 6x, so minus 3 into 2y ఒక్క నిమిషం 6x square. What is the second one? After differentiating with respect to y, here we will get the minus 3y square z square plus k into, after differentiating with respect to z, minus 2y cube z. So this is the del f. So del f is equal here I, so 6x square I minus 3y square z square into j minus 2. Okay, so 6xi minus 6xi minus 3y square z j minus y cube z into k. So this is the gradient of f. So it is the gradient of f. And moreover, one more question in this one. So second one, find the gradient, so del f at the point 1 comma minus 2 comma minus 1. So it is the first problem. Now come to the second one. In this second one, now we want to find this gradient of f at the point 1 comma minus 2 comma minus 1. So just substitute x is equal to 1 and y is equal to minus 2 and z is equal to minus 1. Then here we will get the 6 into 1 I minus 3 into minus 2 square minus 1 square j minus 2 into minus 2 cube minus 1 into k. So the result is 6i minus of minus, so minus, so plus 12j minus 16k. So it is the gradient of f at the point 1 comma minus 2 comma minus 1. And moreover, so before going to the finding the gradient of f, now we will see the some basic formulas of this uh, dot product of the vectors and cross product of the vectors and normal vector. Okay, now we'll see the before going to the finding the gradient of f, some problems we will discuss the basic formulas of the finding the curl f, curl of the two vectors and dot product of the two vectors. Okay, now, so now the basic formulas of the vector operations. Now, okay, note one. Okay, assume there is a vector. A is the vector. The vector is a1i plus a2j plus a3k, and the second vector is b1i plus b2j plus b3k. Then a dot b, the dot product of the two vectors, the dot product of the two vectors according to the normal calculation. So a1i plus a2j plus a3k into, that means dot b1i plus b2j plus b3k. Now what is the dot product of these two vectors? Anybody?
A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B2.
a1b1 plus a2b2 plus a3b3. So this is the dot product of the two vectors. And here, so particularly we will find the I dot j. What is the I dot I? First of all, I dot I. So I dot I means here what is our a vector? 1 into I plus 0 into j plus 0 into k, first vector. Second vector is b vector is again 1 into I plus 0 into j plus 0 into k. So here the our a1 is 1 and a b1 is 1, and the remaining a2 a3 and b2 b3 must be 0. Then what is the dot product of these two vectors? 1 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 0 into 0. That means this I into I is equal to I dot I, we have the 1. Similarly, same j dot j. Same, what is the j dot j? Account these operations. So again here we'll get the 1 only. Next one, k dot k. 1.
1.
So the dot product of I and jj and kk must be 1. Okay, so don't write here I square. I dot I is not equal to I square. Okay, so it is I square, it is related to the complex number. Okay, it is not equal in this our vectors, and in the complex numbers I square is minus 1, but here we don't have I square, here just only the dot product of the two vectors I dot I. So don't write it is the I square, it is the only one. Okay, that is observation in this vectors. And similarly same I dot j. What is the I dot j result? I dot j result means now here our first vector is I into 1 plus 0 into j plus 0 into k, and the b vector is 0 into I plus I into j plus 0 into k. The dot product of these two vectors is 1 into 0 plus 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0. That means the dot product of I j. So the dot product of I j must be 0. Similarly same, the dot product of j dot k must be, what is the result?
0.
0.
0.
Good. So I I dot j 0 and j dot k 0 and k dot 0. Similarly same j dot I and k dot j and I dot k. So these also zeros. The dot product of these two must be 0. So it is the about the dot product of the two vectors. Next one, moreover, so it is the dot product of the two vectors. Next one, cross product of the two vectors. That is the second point. Same here I am taking the A is the vector, that is the A1I plus B1J plus C1K, and the second vector is B1I plus B2J plus B3K. Then the cross product of these two vectors. The cross product of two vectors is nothing but just determinant of the 3 by 3 matrix, and the first row is related to ijk and second row related to first vector. What is the first vector? A1, A2, A3, and the third row related to second vector B1, B2, B3. Okay, so the the cross product of these two vectors is what is the first one? I into anybody?
A2B3, A3B2.
A2B3 minus A3B2.
A3B2.
Next minus J.
A1B3 minus
A1B3 minus B
A3B1
A3B1. Okay, good. Next one plus
plus
K into
A1B2 minus A2B1.
A1B2 minus
A1
A2B1. Okay, now this is the cross product of the two vectors. Next one, particularly we will discuss I cross J. What is the I cross J result? I cross J result. So here the first vector is, what is the first vector? I of convention. Now here the first vector is A. So A is equal to 1 into I, 0 into J and 0 into K, and second vector is 0 into I plus 1 into J plus 0 into K. Now the determinant of this matrix, 3 by 3 matrix, first row we know that ijk, and the second row is related to the first vector. First vector is 1 0 0, second vector is 0 1 0. Now the determinant is, what is the determinant of this one? 0 and minus k, again it is the 0. Next one plus k into, what is the result?
1.
1. So 1 minus 0, so it is, we'll get the j. So k, sorry, k. So the cross product of I j, I cross j. So I cross j, here we'll get the k. Similarly same, find j cross k. Similarly k cross I. So j cross k is, what is the expected result? I, and k cross I, it is the j.
J.
Similarly same, j cross I, k cross j,
Minus K.
and I cross k, it is minus k,
Minus
and
K.
minus I, it is the minus j. And we can easily remember how. Okay, assume it is the circle, so this is the I and this is the j and k. Just if it is clockwise, just use these results. So I cross j, it is the k, and j cross k is I, and k cross I is j. Similarly anti-clockwise we will take the negative results. So anti-clock will take the negative results. Okay, now this one is the about the cross product of the two vectors. Next one, now How can you find the angle between two vectors? That is the question. Angle between the two vectors, that is our third point. Now A is I, A1I, A2J plus A3K, and B vector is B1I plus B2J plus B3K. Now, how can you find the angle between these two vectors? Cos theta. How can you find the angle between the two vectors or two functions or two lines or two curves? Anybody? ఎట్లా సాల్వ్ చేయొచ్చండి? Angle between two objects. So here there is a first object, assume this is the our second object. Now I want to find the angle between these two. So it is the intersecting point of these two objects. It is the first object and it is second object. Any idea? Assume this is the F and assume it is the G. R. Suppose here there is a it is the assume x-axis, y-axis. This is the assume our first line, that means a vector. Suppose A vector, and this is the second vector, B vector. Angle between these two vectors, okay, assume it is the theta. If it is two vectors, we can easily find the angle. Two functions, can you find angle between two functions? So maybe మీకు P2లో సర్కిల్స్లో వచ్చింది. సో ఆర్థోగోనల్ ట్రాజెక్టరీస్ అని వస్తుంది. హారిక, సుప్రియ, యశ్విని, తమ్న, ఓకే, చెప్తారా అండి? యాంగిల్ బిట్వీన్ టూ vectors. So the angle is related to the only the tangent at the point. Okay, it is the first object, so find the tangent at the point, and this is the second object, find the tangent at this point. Okay, we can easily find the angle between the two objects, whether that is the straight lines or maybe the circles or maybe parabolas or maybe hyperbolas or maybe any other functions. So first of all we have to find the tangent vector. Okay, so again the tangent vector we can easily find the angle between the two vectors. What is the formula here? The angle between the two vectors ఫార్ములా రాలేదండి ఇంతకుముందు మీకు? A1B1 plus A2B2 plus A3B3 by under root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square into under root of B1 square plus B2 square plus B3 square. So this is the cos theta, where theta is the angle between two vectors, where theta is angle between two vectors, or one more you can write like this. It is the dot product of the two vectors A and B, and what is the denominator? Under root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square. What about this mean? Mod A. So mod A, that means the magnitude of the vector. So magnitude of the first vector into magnitude of the second vector, mod. Okay, so magnitude of the first vector and the magnitude of the second vector. Now here I am asking a question. What is the, if the suppose angle is 90 degrees, we know that the two vectors are perpendicular to each other. What about the relation between A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3? A1 A2 A3 B1 B2 B3. If the suppose angle is 90 degrees, that is our next point, fourth one. Suppose if I am assuming A and is perpendicular to the B, that means, what is that means? Cos 90 degrees. What is the cos 90?
A dot B equals 0.
Either B cos 90. So cos, that means theta is, if theta is 90 degrees, then this A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3 must be 0. Or you can write like this also. The dot product of the A1, sir, A and B, suppose 0. These two vectors are perpendicular to each other. And I think in the previous slide we have seen. Observe here the dot product of I into j. So ij 0 and jk 0 and k I 0. That means, observe here we have three axes. First axis I and j. We know that the angle between these two 90 degrees. So I dot j must be 0. Similarly, there is a k, one more axis k. So the angle between j and k also 0. So that's why, so 90 degrees, so 0. Next one, the angle between ix and k axis 90 degrees, so 0. So that dot product of, that's why here I j 0 and dot product of j I 0 and k I 0. Okay. So this is the angle between the two vectors, so perpendicular. Similarly, if the suppose vectors are suppose parallel, then what will happen? I am taking suppose the vectors are parallel. If A and B both are parallel, that means what is the angle? Angle must be 0. What is the relation between? What is the relation between A1 B1 A2 B2 A3 B3? చెప్తారండి? 0. So cos theta is equal A1
Equals to 1.
A1 B1 A2 B2 plus A3 B3 by under root of A1 square A2 square plus A3 square under root of B1 square plus B2 square plus B3 square. Now it is cos 0 is 1, we know that. So 1 is equal to A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3 by under root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square into under root of B1 square plus B2 square plus B3 square. That means A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3, it must be is equal under root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square into under root of B1 square plus B2 square plus B3 square. And already we know that A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3, we know that what is this mean? It is the cross product of the two vectors, dot product of the two vectors, and under root of A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square is the norm of or the magnitude of the or mod of this vector, and under root of B1 square, so B1 square plus B2 square plus B3 square, same it is the length of the vector or norm of the vector or mod of the vector. Okay. So finally, if the suppose these two vectors suppose parallel to each other, definitely the dot product of the two vectors must be is equal to product of their magnitudes. That is the conclusion. Similarly, if it is suppose the vectors are, the angle between the two vectors are 90 degree, the dot product of the two vectors must be 0. And moreover, already we have seen some results here. I So I dot I. So definitely it is the non-zero only. And I, what is the magnitude of this one? 1 into 1. That's why we are getting 1. Next one, J dot J. The norm of the or length of the J is 1 into 1 is equal to 1. Similarly, K, the length of the vector K is 1 and the length of this vector is 1, 1. Okay. So here these two vectors are non-zero. It must be the parallel. And here observe I dot J is 0. So I must be the perpendicular to J, and here the J is must be perpendicular to the K, and here K is must be perpendicular to the I. Okay. So this is about the vectors. Similarly, suppose one more point I want to say. Suppose if we don't have, suppose we have the two functions. I am assuming the f and g both are the scalar point functions. Scalar point functions. Scalar point functions. Scalar point function. Now, how can you find the angle between these two functions? Okay, it is the first function. It is related to the function of xyz, and this is one more function of xyz. Now, how can you find the angle between these two functions, scalar point functions? In the previously they have given the two vectors. There is no problem. Directly we will get the results. The cos theta is equal to a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3 by under root of a1 square plus a2 square plus a3 square into under root of b1 square plus b2 square plus b3 square. That is okay. But here we have the two functions f and g, both are scalar point function. How can you find the angle between these two functions? Voice clear అండి? వినబడుతుందా? Answer. How can you find the angle between these two functions? ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు? Seers. Sadia and Harika. ఇంకెవరు బాయ్స్ సియర్స్ ఎవరు? C4 బాయ్స్ సియర్ పేరు ఏంటండి? గోపినాథ్ ఉన్నారా? నాట్ దేర్. గోపినాథ్. C3 సియర్ ఎవరు? బాయ్స్ సియర్? రాజేందర్. How can you find the angle between two functions? త్వరగా అండి. మళ్ళీ పాపం C3 వాళ్ళకి మళ్ళీ క్లాస్ ఉందంట. త్వరగా త్వరగా. ఉందా లేదా? ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయొచ్చు చేయరాదు? Can you find? So that is related to gradient of f. What is the gradient of f according to the previous definition? The gradient of f is the del f. That means I into dou f by dou x plus j into dou f by dou y plus k into dou f by dou z. Similarly, same the gradient of g. Gradient of g is del g. That means I dou g by dou x plus j dou g by dou y plus k dou g by dou z. Now come to the and theta. Now here I am assuming theta is the angle between, so this is the theta. So theta is the angle between two functions. Is angle between angle between two surfaces at the point so two surfaces, okay, assume, and the angle between these two cos theta is equal to the gradient of f, now it is the vector dot, and the gradient of g by norm of the vector, that means mod gradient of f and norm, that means mod of gradient of g. Okay, so it is the function. This function we can from this function we can easily find the gradient of f, that is the vector, that means geometrically this is now the gradient of g, gradient of f, and this one is the gradient of g. Now these two are becomes a vectors. Now we can easily find the angle between the two functions. Now I am asking you one more question. Suppose I am assuming if the angle is suppose 90 degrees, that means theta is 90 degrees, that means if and only if the angle between these two functions, the gradient of f, and must be perpendicular to the gradient of g. How can you identify these two are perpendicular to each other? Just find the dot product of these two gradients, gradient of f and gradient of g. If it is 0, definitely these two must be perpendicular to each other. Next one, when the angle is 0, that means when it is the parallel, when it is the coincide. Again the previous one, what is that? Parallel. Parallel means here the gradient of f is parallel to the gradient of g. When if the gradient of f dot and the gradient of g, it is equal the product of their magnitudes, then definitely those two scalar point functions must be parallel to each other. So parallel to each other. So this is the basic idea about the angle between the two vectors and two scalar point functions. And one more point I want to say, how can we, what is the definition of the unit vector? Unit vector, anybody? What is the definition of unit vector? Unit vector,
Vector of magnitude 1.
very good. Okay, so here I am assuming, so u is the vector, okay, so alpha is a vector, and alpha is equal to, I am assuming, alpha 1i plus alpha 2j plus alpha 3k. So here alpha is said to be unit vector condition if definitely the determinant mod of alpha must be 1, or alpha 1 square plus alpha 2 square plus alpha 3 square under root of this must be 1. That means norm should be 1. Then that vector we call as a unit vector. Example, so here I am taking, so alpha is equal 1 by root 3 I plus 1 by root 3 j plus 1 by root 3 k. Now is it a unit vector or not? What is the magnitude of this vector? Now norm alpha or determinant of this vector is under root of 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, that means under root of 3 by 3 is equal under root of 1, so 1. So norm of this vector is 1. So this one is the unit vector. Now I am asking a question. Give me one more vector which is which is unit vector. See here, see here,
I cap. I cap.
I, and symbolically we'll write it as a cap. Okay, cap is missing, sorry. Yes, one more example. Give me the example of unit vector. ఇవ్వచ్చా అండి? My God.
Just I cap.
I cap. Okay, I cap, just I cap. So it is the unit vector. And j cap, unit vector, and k cap. Now I am asking question other than this I cap, j cap, k cap. Give me the different unit vectors. These are the unit vectors, okay? That is okay, no problem. Anyway, these are the unit vectors, but I want different unit vector. చెప్పాలండి. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సాదియా
Yes, sir.
చెప్పాలి. సాదియా సుల్తానా, సాదియా తమ్నం. ఓకే, హారిక,
Yes, sir.
ఇంకా వేరే వాళ్ళు ఎవరు ఉన్నారా? అప్కమింగ్ సియర్స్, ఓల్డ్ సియర్స్. C24, సార్ C4 కాదు, C4 అంటే 22. C1 క్లాస్ నెంబర్ ఎంత అండి? 21. C3 21. ఓకే, C4 22. ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ లేవా అండి? యూనిట్ వెక్టర్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్. మై గాడ్.
1 by root 2 I cap plus 1 by root 2 j cap plus 0 k cap.
Very good. So 1 by root 2 I plus 1 by root 2 j plus 0 into k. Very good. ఇంకా ఇంత కష్టమా? మై గాడ్.
Sir, 4 by 5 I cap plus 3 by 5 J cap plus 0 K cap.
Okay, 4 by 5 I
I cap plus 3 by 5 J cap
minus 3 plus 3. Okay, no problem. Okay,
plus 0 K cap.
very good. One by 3 I plus 2 by 3 j plus వర్కౌట్ అవుతుందండి. Is it a unit vector?
Yes, sir.
You can generate many unit vectors. Okay, now so one more point. Suppose if alpha is reserved. Okay, now I am taking the beta is a vector which is non-zero. Can we convert this beta vector into the unit vector? I am taking, suppose beta is equal 1 I 2j plus 3k, 2k, again 2k. Now we know that this one is the not a unit vector, it is a general vector. What is the norm of this vector? Under root of 1 square plus 2 square plus 2 square, that means root of 1 plus 4 plus 4, that is equal root of 9, that is the 3. So norm of this vector is, or length of the vector or mod of the vector is 3. Norm of the vector or length of the vector 3. But after rewriting beta by norm beta, we will get the different result. So 1 by 3 of I plus 2j plus 2k. This vector must be the unit vector. Am I clear? The original vector is not a unit vector, but after dividing by its length of the vector, it must be the unit vector. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So here the beta is any vector, but beta by length of the vector, it must be the always unit vector. That means any vector, any non-zero vector, we can convert into the unit vector by dividing by its length of the vector. Okay, that is the idea. Next one, one more. ఒక్క నిమిషం అండి. Next one, I want to find the unit tangent vector. Okay, so the first question here. So find the tangent vector at any point on the curve x is equal to t square plus 1 and y is equal to 4t minus 3 and z is equal to 2t square minus 6t. How can find the tangent vector of this curve? So this is the parametric form. This one is the parametric form. Now you can find the tangent vector. So for that, first of all, you have to find the position vector. The position vector in the form of r is equal to xi plus yj plus zk. Now the given vector, what is the given vector? Now the position vector is t square plus 1 into I plus 4t minus 3 into j plus 2t square minus 6t into k. Now this is the position vector, but what is our question? Our question is the tangent. So tangent vector, how can you find the tangent vector? How can you find the tangent vector? Tangent vector. Sadia?
Yes, sir.
చెప్పాలి. ఫిజిక్స్లో వచ్చిందా టాంజెంట్ వెక్టర్స్ రాలా?
Sir.
Derivative of r bar.
R bar, very good. So derivative of R bar, that means differentiate with respect to the t, that is the tangent vector. So differentiate with respect to t. After differentiating with respect to t, what will happen? It is the 2ti plus 4j plus 4t
4t
minus
minus 6.
6. Now this one is the tangent vector. So tangent vector, so symbolically we will write the t symbol. It is equal to dr by dt is equal to 2ti plus 4j plus 4t minus 6 into k. Okay, now the second question here, just find the unit and also find unit tangent vector at the point at t is equal to at 2 is equal to, so at 2 time 2 unit tangent vectors. So already we know that how can you convert into the normal vector into the unit vector? By dividing its norm of the vector or length of the vector or modulus of the vector. Okay, so already we know the unit tangent vector. What is the unit tangent vector? The current problem. So 2t I plus 4j plus 4t minus k, and substitute here that t is equal to 2, t is equal to 2, then this gives the, so dr by dt at t is equal to 2, here we'll get the 2 into 2i plus 4j plus 4 into 2 minus 6 into k. That means here we'll get the 4i plus 4j 8 minus 6, it is the 2k. So it is the our unit vector at the point 2. But the question is, what is our question? Unit tangent vector. So unit tangent vector, calculation of the unit tangent vector. So unit tangent vector at the point t is equal to 2. What is our t vector? T vector is 4i plus 4j minus 2k. Now what is the length of this vector? Cheppalandi, length of the vector, under root of 4 square plus 4 square plus minus 2 square, that means under root of 16 plus 16 plus 4, that means under root of 36. So the length of the vector is 6. Now the unit tangent vector is equal to t cap and t vector by its length of the vector, that means 1 by 6 into 4i plus 4j minus 2k. Green okay nandi? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the final result is 1 by 3 of 2i plus 2j minus k. This one is the unit tangent vector. So unit tangent vector of this curves. Okay. So next one we are at a gradient of, actually our topic is the finding the gradient. Next one we will find the angle between the two scalar point functions. So two scalar point functions. So two scalar point functions. So before that, now we will find the gradient of, homework ఏమైనా ఇవ్వాలండి మీకు? హోంవర్క్ సాల్వ్ చేస్తారా ఇస్తే?
ఎస్ సార్.
ఇవ్వండి సార్.
షూర్, పక్కా?
పక్కా సార్.
ఆ పక్క ఈ పక్క అన్ని పక్కల. ఓకే ఓకే. Now I will give the homework. So before going to the homework, now we'll solve the one more problem. Give me the answer very quickly. So if f is equal x cube y z square and find gradient of f or grade of f, ఒకటే same meaning there, at the point 1 1 1 1, or same question, find the gradient grade f at the point 1 1 1, or gradient of f at the point 1 1 1 1. ఆన్సర్ చెప్పాలండి.
Three I cap plus J cap plus 2K.
3 answer.
I cap.
So answer is 3 I cap
Plus J cap
J cap
plus 2K cap.
2K cap. Very good. కరెక్టే అండి సాదియా?
Yes sir.
Okay. Now we'll solve. So gradient of f is equal, so symbolically del f, and calculation version, so I into dou by, so dou f by dou x plus j into dou f by dou y and plus k into dou f by dou z. After taking f is equal x cube y z square, so I into dou of x cube y z square dou x plus j into dou x cube y z square by dou y plus k into dou x cube y z square by dou z. After differentiating with respect to x, so here we will get the 3x square I. After differentiating with respect, ఒక్క నిమిషం, sorry, after differentiating with respect to x, we will get the 3x square y z square, and after differentiating with respect to the y, here we will get the x cube z square j, and after differentiating with respect to z, 2x cube y z into j. But we will solve this gradient of f at the point 1 1 1 comma 1 comma 1. Very easy, just substitute. So it is the 3i, it is the I only, it is the 2k only. So this is the gradient of f. And one more, I will give the homework. Just try to find the gradient of the following the problems. Homework. If f is equal, first question, f is equal x y z square. Second question, if f is equal to x square y 2xz, and the next one, third one, f is equal if f is equal to xy plus xz plus yz. Now question is find gradient of this f at the point here. Okay, number చెప్పు.
3
Point 3, 5,
2.
3, 5 minus 2. Find the gradient of f at the point 3 comma 5 comma minus 2. Okay, and one more question. This is the last question in this. Sir parent is Harika. ఎన్ని గంటలకు మీకు క్లాస్?
11:30 sir.
11:30. ఎప్పుడు ఆపేయాలి? సో 11 ఆపాలా?
11 కాపండి సార్.
11 ఆపేస్తా. ఓకే, 11:50 వరకు తీసుకోవచ్చా?
Yes, sir.
తీసుకోండి సార్.
Yes sir.
సిఆర్
తీసుకోండి సార్.
హారిక
11:15 వరకు తీసుకోండి సార్.
సో హారికకే చాయిస్ హారికదే, మనదేం లేదు.
11:15 వరకు తీసుకోండి సార్.
11:15 వరకు తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, గుడ్. 11:15 వరకు. ఓకే, ఓకే. నెక్స్ట్ వన్. So the previously it has given curve. The curve is parametric curve. What is the curve? Just this is the parametric curve. X is equal to t square plus 1 and y is equal to 4t minus 3 and z is equal to 2t square minus 60. Question here the tangent vector at the point and also find the unit tangent vector. Okay, it is given the curve in the parametric form. Sometimes they will give the curve is like this. Suppose here the function is given that x square y plus 2xz is the scalar point function. The question is find normal vector of surface at the point 1, 1, 1, 1. Is equal to 4. 4 also. 4. How can find the normal vector of this surface? Okay, assume it is the surface F. Normal vector. At the point 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. The previously we just formed the position vector, but here it is the scalar point function. So for this scalar point function, first of all you have to find the gradient. So here the scalar point function, what is the scalar point function? X square y plus 2xz minus 4. What is the gradient of this f? Gradient of f, that means del f. I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z into x square y plus 2xz minus 4. Now, what is the result after differentiating with respect to x? What is the result? I into 2xy
2xy plus
2z. Good. Next, j into
x square
x square, just x square. Okay, plus k into 2x. But now this gradient of f is also called as the normal vector of the surface. So normal vectors of the surface is also called as the gradient of f. So gradient of f gives the a vector, that is the normal vector of the surface. And so at the point, so this is the 2xy plus 2z into I plus x square j plus 2zk, but it is clearly given at the point 1 1 1 1 1. What is the result? After I direct it is the 4i plus j plus 2k. Okay, and one more question in this one, and also find its unit normal vector. Unit normal vector at the point same 1 1 1 1 1. So already we have normal vector. What is the normal vector here? Normal vector is 4i plus j plus 2k. What is the length of this vector? Here, length of the vector, length of n or the mod n under root of
under root of 21.
16. Okay, 21 వస్తుందా? So 4 square plus 1 square plus 2 square, that means root of 16 plus 1 plus 4, it is 21, root of 21. So the unit normal vector here, unit normal vector the given surface is n cap is equal to n bar by n. That means what is our vector? 4i plus j plus 2k by under root of 21 is the unit normal vector at the point 1 1 1 1. Next one, I am giving a question, just homework. The first one, homework. So find the normal vector of the curve x is equal to y is equal to z is equal. Clear? ఒక నెంబర్ చెప్పు.
Sir, 2.
3, sir.
2t plus 3. Next one,
4, 5.
4t square plus 5.
6, 7.
6 9. Very good, 9 minus 9. Okay, now find the normal vector of this curve at the point t is equal to 1. And the second problem here, and also find its unit normal vector. Second question, so find the normal vector of the surface x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 9. It is the sphere at the point 1 1 1 1. ఒక నిమిషం అండి, జస్ట్ ఎ మినిట్. Two comma 1 comma 2. ఒక నిమిషం. 4 plus 1 5. Oh. And also find its also find its unit normal vector. Unit normal vector. Normal vector. Okay, so second problem same here. Here also I will give the second problem. It is the first problem, and this is the first problem. And second problem, x is equal, here I am taking t square, and y is equal to t, and z is equal to 3, yet t is equal to 1 only. Similarly same here, one more function I am writing. So x square plus y square minus z is equal to 3 at the point 2 comma minus 1 comma 2. Okay, so it is the second problem. That means find the here the normal vector of this curves, and also find its unit normal vectors. Okay, from the first one, what is the approach? We have to find the position vector. What is the position vector? X is equal to x r is equal to xi plus yj plus zk, and you have to find the only dr by dt. And in the second one, you have to find the, what is the calculation? Here you have to find the gradient. Am I clear? So gradient gives the normal vector. Okay, ఇంకా టైం ఉందా అండి, అయిపోయిందా?
ఉంది సార్.
ఓకే, ఉంది. Next one, now the angle between the two
Sir, answers.
answers. అడిగేది ఎవరు? సిఆరా సాదియా?
నేను కాదు సార్.
ఓకే, ఆన్సర్స్ నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో చూద్దాం. ఓకే, ముందైతే మీరు సాల్వ్ చేయండి. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ వన్. Now this is the next question. Find the angle between two surfaces. The first one is the x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 9, first surface. Second surface is z is equal to x square plus y square minus 3 at the point 2 comma minus 1 comma 2. ఇంకా ఆన్సర్స్ ఇక్కడ వచ్చేస్తాయండి, డోంట్ వరీ. ఓకే, నౌ హౌ కెన్ ఫైండ్ ద యాంగిల్ బిట్వీన్ ద టూ సర్ఫేసెస్? వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫార్ములా? ఫార్ములా ఏంటండి? ఫార్ములా very good. Cos theta is equal, now cos theta is equal,
A1
Del F into del V.
it is not vectors, it is a scalar point functions. So gradient of first function del f,
gradient of G by
by
gradient of G by mod of gradient of f and gradient of
gradient of
G.
G.
Or you can write symbolically like this: del f dot del G by determinant of del f by determinant of the del G. Okay, now just find the only del of the first function and del of the second function. So what is the first function? So result that rasedamandi. So f is equal, I am assuming the first function is x square plus y square plus z square minus 9, and second function here I am assuming g is equal to G is equal x square plus y square minus z minus 3. Now come to the first one. Del or gradient. So gradient of f or del f is equal I into dou by dou x plus j into dou by dou y plus k into dou by dou z into x square plus y square plus z square minus 9. Minus 9, what is the result? After differentiating with respect to x, we will get the 2x plus j into Chapal results 2y
2y
plus
Plus
k
2z.
2z.
2j. And it is clearly given point also. What is the point here? The point is 2 comma minus 1 comma 2. After substituting, so I into 2 into 2 plus j into 2 into minus 1 plus k into 2 into 2. So our vector is, that means normal vector 4i minus 2j plus 4k.
Plus 4.
Similarly, come to the first second problem. Second one. Now here find the gradient of convolution. Gradient of g. So gradient of g here, gradient of g is equal I by dou I into dou by dou x, j into dou by dou y plus k into dou by dou z into, what is our g, x square plus y square minus z minus 3. Now after differentiating with respect to x, what is the result? I into
2.
2x plus j into
2y.
2y plus k into minus 1,
Minus 1.
and we want the gradient g at the point 2 comma minus 1 comma 2. That means normal vector of this scalar point function is I into 2 into 2 plus j into 2 into minus 1 minus k. That means here we will get the 4i minus 2j minus k is the second one. But what is our question? What is our question? Our question is the angle between the two functions. Angle between the two functions. What is our del f? Our del f is equal to ఎంత వచ్చిందండి 4i
4i
minus
minus 2j plus
4k,
4.
and del f, so del g 4i
4i
minus
minus 2j
2j
minus
minus k. What is our question? Cos theta is equal del f dot del g, that means gradient of f. Next one, length of the vector. So separate solve చేద్దామండి length, no need. Separate solve చేద్దాం వద్దు?
వద్దు సార్.
వద్దు, ఇక్కడ డైరెక్ట్గా. ఓకే, ముందు separate solve చేద్దామండి, better. We'll solve separately, that is easy. Okay, now bala, color bala, control Z. Okay. Now del f under root of 4 square minus 2 square plus 4 square, that means under root of 16 plus 4 plus 16, it is 36, it is a 6. Next one, mod of the gradient of g under root of 4 square plus minus 2 square
21.
Root 21.
root 21 వచ్చిందండి. Okay, root 21. Now directly, now the angle between these two scalar functions. Now the first one is 4i minus 2j plus 4k into, that means dot, 4i minus 2j minus k by its length. So 6 into root 21. So 4 square plus minus 2 square minus 4 by 6 into root 21. So 6,
24, sir.
24, 21.
24.
Root 24.
24 by 6 under root 21, sir.
Oh, result వచ్చేసిందా? ఓకే, ప్లస్ 4 మైనస్ 4 24 వచ్చింది, 16 రాలేదు. 16 by 16 by, so 16 by 6 into root 21. So here 8 by 3 into root 21. But what is the question? Angle. So cos theta is equal 8 by 3 into root 21. That means now theta is equal cos inverse of 8 by 3 into root 21 is the angle between the